Hello guys, it's your man King Ito and welcome to my channel. Please subscribe, like the video and also share. So today's episode is going to be the first one of a series of episodes. I'm not too sure yet how many episodes we're going to have. So I asked a lot of people what they thought could be the cause of gender-based violence and what they think could be the solution. So without further ado, here the video.
My name is Neo and I'm going to be talking to you guys about gender-based violence and its root causes and what I think the solution could be. Gender-based violence for me can be affected or brought about by a lot of factors. These may include the society, the community, the relationships we have with each other as men and women, and individual perpetration. A person's own personal experiences may cause him to behave otherwise. Yeah, so they may come down to the norms, the things we have found as normal in life. These things may not be as healthy as they seem, and acceptance of certain things. Acceptance of violence, for example. It is not right. We accept it and we just say, man, go right, fantastic, can't know. We can't just accept it. We need to do something about it. And then the dominance of men and their masculinity, we make it so normal. Like it is so common in our communities that asenze next gayo. Like they are dominant and they should be dominant because this is what has been happening throughout our lives and shit and all. And then abanye bangathi maybe poverty and unemployment plays a role as well, because maybe because of the society teaching men that they need to be providers and everything. When they are unemployed and everything, they get frustrated and they do things. They hit people and yeah, but yeah, it's happening. And then marital conflict. It is so common. We saying, man, hey, everyone needs to fight and shit. No. So these are all things that contribute. Let me not forget maybe a child witnessing conflicts as they grow. That also doesn't do any justice for them. It is wrong. So you see, these things all connect and they bring this problem to us. Now, what I think could be done, or what I think the problem starts, or where I think it starts to be corrected, I think the society is where everything starts. We need to start with fixing what the society teaches us, and the children need to be taught that they are equal. A boy child and a girl child are the same. They are all equal and they just need to be brought up the same way. Not giving them the idea that this one needs to be strong. A boy shouldn't cry. A boy can be vulnerable. A boy can be weak. A woman, you need to be weak. You need to be vulnerable. You need to be emotional. No, we need to stop there. We need to start bringing them up as one. You understand? Okay? And with these weddings that we have. In these weddings, these women, hey, girl, you need to do this, you need to do that. But they don't say the same thing to the men. So you understand now, it's already putting pressure on the woman. It's already telling the woman that I am less, the man is more. You understand? So that's where the problem starts. That's why I think we still have this problem even today. It starts with the norms, these things we are being taught. And I think that's about it. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Manele. And hi, my name is Karabo. So we were asked the question of what do you think causes what gender-based violence, and what do you think the solution is?
Yeah, so basically I guess my answer isn't straightforward, because I believe that there are many causes and people get triggered by a lot of things. Auburn. But the few examples that I can think about is the fact that men don't talk. Men don't talk about their issues, and instead of turning to a fellow friend or even their wives or girlfriends to share the stress that they're dealing with at work, to share financial stress, family, or whatever it is that's causing them distress, they sometimes turn to the bottle or even turn to the woman as like, to release that stress. They end up out of frustration, because you hear most of them do apologize when they come to their senses, is that they acted out of frustration, and when whatever happened, they burst.
I was too drunk to think straight. I did 1, 2, 3 because of we were going through a financial whatever. So the solution would be there isn't really one solution to it, because everyone goes through different phases, I would say, of violence, like of what causes it.
Yeah,
because you can't say you can't have a solution for a person that drinks and a person that hits without even drinking, because one can be sober and hit their wife, and one can be drunk and hit their wife, or one can just drink and not even be violent. So you can't have one solution for all of those. It's obviously different solutions, but the talking to a fellow friend for men, because women talk. So if you have the right mature also group of friends, that if I were to talk to my friend about my financial situation, I shouldn't be belittled, because men have egos, and so I don't want to be belittled by my friend saying, "How you feel to provide someone? Your wife must also." Maybe if you get those men that they want their wives not to chip in, but then it becomes harder for the family. Like, your wife must chip in, or no, Ish, we're going through this. My wife. Because sometimes I'm going to use pregnancy for example, because you get sometimes that men don't understand what women go through with pregnancy, then maybe like after pregnancy, and then she has changed, moody, and the guy, and then ends up, you tell a friend, to remember I met her because she can't disrespect you like that, she can't be doing such instead of talking like after pregnancy, and then she has changed, moody, and the guy, and then ends up, you tell a friend, to remember I met her because she can't disrespect you like that, she can't be doing such instead of talking to your wife saying, "Ish babe, 1, 2, 3 that you're doing doesn't sit well with me," and then you guys work around it, or talking to your friend about it, then maybe your friend can also advise you, and whatnot. So it's the circle of friends that you keep yourself around with that are pretty mature, that you guys don't just sit down and drink fela iba. Let's have a brotherly moment and be like, "Ish, 1, 2, 3 is happening. I don't know how to deal with it. So what would your advice be?" Because you might never know. You will find out that one of your friends is actually going through the same thing, and you guys can actually help each other. Be like, no, counseling and whatnot. So I think that's our answer.
Yeah, and like the guy he also has to want to change.
You shouldn't be forced.
Yeah, because it's one thing for me to advise him to go talk to people, to shy away from alcohol and so forth, but unless he himself recognizes, number one, the problem, and recognizes that he needs help, it's going to be difficult to get him out of that. So
without him realizing. So basically, don't be in denial.
Yes. So that's our answer.
Bye, Max.
Hello, hi. My name is Debo Ho, and I'm here to share with you what I personally think is the root cause of gender-based violence. Gender-based violence, well, what I personally think is that gender-based violence is deeply rooted in cultural beliefs and attitudes that perpetuate inequality, more especially focusing on women and girls, in our country. Other factors could also include poverty, lack of education, livelihood opportunities, and I think the list goes on from there, and what I think we can do to manage the situation is maybe perhaps ensure that victims of gender-based violence have access to free and confidential counseling. They shouldn't have to pay for that, because I think we're struggling in ensuring security for people that actually do experience gender-based violence. I think also we should also look at reviewing our regulations, policies, procedures. Also looking at perhaps also changing a few policies, and also how we view like our traditional practices and our cultural practices. I think based on those results, we can also advocate with, maybe stakeholders, to ensure that they provide like the right and necessary protection for our people. So well, it's just a personal thought, and I hope this is useful. So keep safe, stay blessed, peace. Turn the pet.
What I think is the root cause of gender-based violence, and I'm not going to speak only because women inclined. I'm not biased. I like to think that both sides of genders have problems, and one thing that I would say is what society has ruled out to be the standards for women and for men. Men are not considered to have to project their feelings and in a certain way, and that they should live in a certain type of way, which makes it unrealistic, because men are also human. And women also have been put in a certain standard that it rules out just how a person is, which makes these two people that are now put out in a certain way according to society to have problems, and then we end up having glitches like gender-based violence. Number two, I would say, is lack of respecting each other's values as people. We are all different, and we do not always believe in the same things, but we have a way of adapting, connecting, and respecting. But we have lost that respect for each other, men and women. Other women are the cause of gender-based violence because you provoke men, you disrespect a man, or you do things that you know aren't supposed to be done. That is just something. Or putting a man into a certain level of he's supposed to support you in everything, money-wise, and then you end up shutting yourself from doing what would make a man happy. You know what I mean? Women, you need to stand up and go work. This world that we're living is not the same as long back when women used to tend to the house. You know what I mean? And for men, the lack of respecting a woman's ability to be your helper in terms of financially, in terms of what a woman can say and be heard of, it's just the lack in hearing each other out and understanding each other, I feel like has become the reason why we end up having gender-based violence, or respecting each other's time, respecting each other's values, respecting each other's beliefs, respecting each other's opinions, and actually hearing each other out, and how society has standards for how a woman should be or how a man should be. Those are fuels, I think, that put fire into gender-based violence, and I think that we should definitely work on, because everybody deserves respect and everybody deserves to hear each other out.
And just like that, you've come to the end of the video. If you'd like to be featured in the videos, please check the description. And thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and also share it with your friends. Till next time.